I'm gonna do a couple clarifications, then I'll talk about the CDs, where I got them, all the movies, blah blah blah. I missed a couple items. They were right in front of my face, and I didn't even say them. And I did move them. If you can see here, I moved some stuff. I only moved a few movies and two figures I didn't even talk about. So, we'll just go over them now. I apologize for the inconvenience. I didn't mention them. I should have mentioned them, but I did not because I was being a doofus. So, we got this autograph pop by Sean Austin. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. He's the actor who played Bob in Stranger Things, and since he died, I got him in this bloody pop protector, and he signed it for me. So it's got my actual name on it, Chandler, right there. And it says Easy Peasy's little catcher phrase. And then we got Constantine, which is a free comic book day exclusive, and this is limited to 20,000 pieces, so I put it in this pop protector, and that was about, I want to say, $20. It's in the bloody pop protector because he's like a demon hunter. So if you don't know what Constantine is, unless you read the comics or watch the show, Angels in the Outfield on DVD and Brave Little Toaster. I bought both of these at a Best Buy for about $4. So, Banjo the Woodpile Cat is a Don Bluth short film. It's okay, not the greatest, but yeah, I have that. I got this Shout Factory set of all 4 Critter movies, and the first 2 are pretty good. Yeah, the last 2. Not so much. I do love the artwork on those, like it's reversible, so that means like there's 2 different sides, but so I'm not going to pull them out. It's too hard to do that right now. I know I talked about this in the last video, but since it's a movie, I'm going to bring it up one more time. Serenity, a steelbook, got that from Amazon. Don't even know if it's still available. But if you want to hear my thoughts on the movie and stuff, watch that TV show video, which I believe is part 2 of the full collection. My Criterion, A Fantastic Mr. Fox, which, I don't mean this as a pun. It really is fantastic. It's got this Blu-ray is amazing. Got a director's commentary by Wes Anderson, which I've listened to many times. I mean, many, many times. I love this film. I've seen this movie a bazillion times. It's my favorite movie ever made. Seven Samurai, one of the greatest movies ever made. Definitely like the greatest action movie ever made. Such an emotional experience. Very long, but it needs to be that long because they get you so emotionally attached to these characters to the point where when you're watching it, by the end, things happen and you cry. This amazing Jurassic Park set that has the first 4. It doesn't have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which I never want to own. I probably will get it as like to own it because it's part of the franchise and I want to own all the movies, but it has to be really cheap for me to do that. So it's got Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. The only good ones are the first 2. The first one's great, and the second one's okay. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Dark Crystal, which both of these are really great. They got like their booklets, and they got the movies, and interviews, crap like that. It's pretty cool. 4K edition of 2001: A Space Odyssey, one of the greatest films ever made. And then, let's get down here. So we got Dragon Ball Z Broly, which is a fantastic movie. We got Ocean Waves, which is another good movie. Spirited Away, another great movie. Ocean Waves isn't great. I'm inclined to say that because it's Studio Ghibli, but it's okay. My Neighbor Totoro's fantastic. One of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. Another one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies, Princess Mononoke. Castle in the Sky, a movie that I just think is okay. Howl's Moving Castle, a movie I need to revisit. It's not one I enjoy very much. It's kind of awkwardly paced. Wind Rises, a film that I can never sit down and finish because of how boring it is. Another movie I think that is one of the greatest films ever made, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Hunchback of Notre Dame, a fantastic Disney movie that's completely underrated, and stupid gargoyles ruin a really good movie. Meet the Robinsons, a really odd, bad, poorly paced Disney movie. Finding Nemo Blu-ray. Love Finding Nemo. Finding Dory Steelbook. Got this at an FYE. Love the Steelbook. Nightmare Before Christmas. Great movie. The Muppet movie, the original one, on Blu-ray. Muppets Most Wanted. Another great movie. 42. Okay, true story movie. Godzilla. The 2014 one. The only one I like besides the original. Tomb Raider. A decent little action movie. It's got its problems. If Die Repeat. An overhyped Tom Cruise action movie. That isn't that bad, but it's just way too overhyped. The original Willy Wonka. Another one I think is one of the greatest films ever made. Paddington 2. My favorite film of 2018. Space Jam Steelbook. A guilty pleasure of mine. Iron Giant, the greatest animated film in my opinion. The Lego Movie, one of my favorite films ever made. Or animated films, I mean. Lego Movie 2, the second part. A not so good sequel. It's not bad, it's just fine. Lego Batman Movie, a really funny parody and sequel to the Lego Movie, but not as good. Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders. Pretty good animated movie based on the 60s show. Batman Ninja, problematic, enjoyable little movie, for me at least. Teen Titans Judas Contract, I have a whole video on it. I don't even want to talk about this one. I didn't like it, to say the least. Death of Superman, Blu-ray, pretty good. Probably the best Superman movie ever made. Pretty good Disney-like movie, not made by Disney, and it's based on real event, and it's pretty good. And it's a Don Bluth film, which he also made that short film up here, Banjo the Woodpile Cat. So, and Land Before Time, American Tail, Secret Name, stuff like that. Ice Age, a really great movie, but the sequels never were as good. Book of Life, a movie that I don't understand the hype behind. It's good. It's okay. I mean, it's just, I don't know. People just really overhype this one. Isle of Dogs, Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. My second favorite movie of 2018. Right there. John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little Chinatown. You know what Jack Burton would say at a time like this? Who? Jack Burton. Me. Edward Scissorhands, a really good, well-made Tim Burton film back when he made those. I'm going to call my brother. I'm going to call my lawyer. Independence Day, one of the greatest disaster movies of the 90s. Chronicle, one of the few good found footage films. I really recommend that one. Can't recommend that one enough. Mrs. Doubtfire. You better not doubt Mrs. Doubtfire. And then you got Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. A really well-made Tim Burton fantasy film. That is, it's okay. You know, it's pretty enjoyable, but it's pretty well made. Home Alone 5 movie collection in this tin can collector's set. So, alright, let's finish it up here with the rest of the movies here. Fault in Our Stars. A pretty good movie based on a pretty good book. They're almost equal. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. One of my favorite Ben Stiller films. Really well made movie. Not a movie I'd recommend to everyone, but I really like that one. Walmart exclusive Castaway Blu-ray with the Deadpool cover. So another movie that's one of the greatest films ever made. Really good horror, really good kids horror movie, and it's enjoyable for adults too. So, Kubo and Two Strings, pretty good movie that you should watch. Just like Coraline, made by the same people, but not as good as Coraline. American Graffiti, a good movie back when George Lucas made those. pretty great. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, pretty good Don Knotts comedy. One of his best, probably his most memorable. The Prince of Egypt, a really fantastic, underrated film. And this adaptation of Ten Commandments is honestly better than Ten Commandments. Sorry, people like to argue with me on that. They're just wrong. Secondhand Lions, a pretty enjoyable movie. Mortal Kombat, a really dumb, stupid movie. That's one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies. Same thing with this, Now You See Me. Haven't watched the sequel. Let me know if it's any good down in the comments below. 2017 Power Rangers movie, another guilty pleasure. The Sixth Sense, I see dead people. This is one of my favorite films ever made, so I don't own the entire trilogy. I still need to get Star Trek 2009, but I own Beyond and Into Darkness, so I'm trying to get all the Star Trek movies. SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. I still need to get the SpongeBob movie, but I love that movie. I probably should watch it again. I haven't watched it in a really long time. I know I talked about this last video, Swallows of Government Complete Short Collection. I'm just going to talk about it again since it's here. The Shaun the Sheep movie, which I actually really love this movie, so this is the Steelbook edition of The Transformers, the movie, which is another guilty pleasure of mine. I'm also just a fan of the 80s show, so Mr. Hockey, the Gordon Howie story. I haven't watched this yet. I got it for like $1 at the Dollar Tree, so that's why I picked that up. And then we'll go over the CDs. This is the Best of the Doobies, which is like my favorite band. So it's got some really good tracks on there. Probably the album I listen to the absolute most. Earth, Wind & Fire's Greatest Hits, another good album. It's got a cover of the Beatles song Gotta Get You Into My Life. So if that's something you're interested in. Another album I listen to a crap ton. The Stevie Miller Band's Greatest Hits 1974 to 1978. So they're one of my favorite bands. I actually got to see them in concert. I think I did a video on that if I'm not mistaken. Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. A band I think is okay. They make really well-made music. It's just not music I'm into. So I'm talking about like on a personal level, not on an objective level. The Very Best of Jim Croce. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. He's a really good sad singer. I just like his voice. But his music is quite sad to me, honestly. I don't listen to it that often, but it's good music. That's why I own it. Will Smith, Big Willie Style. This has like Getting Jiggy With It, a few other songs I like. I don't like the whole album, but that's why I own this. The original Aladdin soundtrack, which is fantastic. I will never own that crappy remake soundtrack. So, the Best of Kansas, which is, I only bought this for Carry On My Wayward Son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. The Essential Electric Light Orchestra Collection, which is a really great... Okay, this has some really interesting, well-done, like, well-made music that is kind of crazy. Bonanzas, all the different instruments, and this is just amazing music, and you should listen to it if you want to study music. Like, it's fascinating. The Who, one of my favorite bands, after listening to this album, honestly, but I mostly bought this for Bob O'Reilly, which is a great song. And it just has a weird sound to it. Like, I can't even mimic it. It's just so good. Haven't listened to this yet, but this is the Roy Orbison's, Orbison, whatever you want to call it, whatever his name is, super hits, so that's cool. Nirvana, Nevermind. This is my favorite Nirvana album. It's got, of course, this is everyone's favorite Nirvana album, but, you know, I really like Smells Like Teen Spirit, so that's why I have this. It's a really good album. And then the Best of the Johnny Cash TV show, which is like a talk show, and it's got a bunch of songs on here by Johnny Cash and some other artists. So that's cool. I have that. I'm going to hurry up and finish this video. Nirvana Live at Reading, which is, it's an alright album. It's another live album, which I like. The Leonard Skinner Family, which is kind of like pretty much like greatest hits, considering most of their most popular songs are on it, like Sweet Home Alabama. Probably my favorite album I own, the Ultimate Frank Sinatra Collection. I really love that one. And I forgot to pull out Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I apologize, but this is a really great album by Elton John. He is my favorite music artist, and that is my favorite album of his. Of course, besides his greatest hits, because honestly, I could never get enough Elton John's greatest hits, to be honest. Bob Seger's greatest hits, which it's got some really good things on here. It's one of my favorites. He's got some really fun classic rock songs and some other ones I like. And then the Doors' first album, which is probably their best album, and I really liked that album a lot. So, yeah, that's all. That's my entire collection. I am done. Don't ask me to do another video like this for a long time. It took me hours now to clean up and do all this, and I'm still exhausted, so I'm gonna move on, lay down, and end the video off here.